Hello once again to the series where we recreate Gen 9 Pokemon into Gen 5 animated sprites. Last time we did Ceruledge and Armarouge, so how about something bit more special? That's right, the future Paradox Pokemon. Now, we probably should just get right into it since we got 7 whole sprites to remake and revisit. Let's go! So, let's start off simple with the Paradox Pokemon Iron Bundle. Just like many of the other Paradox Pokemon, especially the future ones, adjusting to it took quite a bit of a while, but now seeing all the gists and cool thingies that this guy has, he's pretty cool in my opinion. Especially the fact that he slides around like his feet are skiing thingies, I don't know what they're called, and that its head pops off. Now I know it's a weird thing to like, but in this context it's pretty cool. Wait, pun not intended. As for the editing process, it was also the first one for me, so I had to decide right from the start how I want to make these. Now the most important part that pretty much sets apart from the rest of these Pokemon is of course the robotic aesthetics. So the shininess in some of these objects or parts of their bodies was important to make them shine or replicate the glowing effect. So I took my time with those. How? Well, let's see it. Oh boy, what's this? Finally, Delibird can get what he always wanted, attention and affection. Yes, now anyways, that's the first one, so you probably now have an idea how this will go. Of course, a comparison, but that's not important, because the important thing is, we're moving on to the next one. And next up we got a mighty beast, which is Iron Thorns. Now quickly I want to mention something about this layout. Yes, all of the footage is recorded by me, and yes, although pretty painful, I specifically hunted every Paradox Shiny Pokemon for this video. Now, yeah, you may be saying, what's so difficult about the Gen 9 Shinies? They're pretty easy to hunt. Yeah, I'm not saying that they're difficult to hunt overall, but when you got to hunt 7, which are wholly based on RNG and odds, it can get tedious when you're unlucky, and the shiny sparkles for some of these Paradox Pokemon could be pretty useful, since like Iron Treads for example, it doesn't change a lot, so you can slip by it. But yeah, the spriting process also, yeah, well, that was mostly just time consuming, since although it's a pretty chunky boy and has some details you need to work on, it really wasn't that difficult compared to the rest, which you will see later. But for this guy, yeah, it was kinda soothing and relaxing, because he had a lot of spots that just needed to be recolored, remade for each frame. Yeah, pretty simple work. It was kinda relaxing, yeah, like I said. Now, this probably is a basic ass taste, but I think Iron Thorns is the best out of the bunch. Now, Iron Valiant is a good contender, but something better is this sprite. Buckle up because you'll be seeing this cave a lot. I don't know if I like this more or Tyranitar. And that was our second guy, Iron Thorns. I hope you're enjoying this because there's a lot more coming. But in the meantime, here's some nice comparisons and also the sprite itself. Now, I hope you're ready for this because, yup, there's already the next sprite coming. As for Iron Jugulis, Yeah, I think it's definitely the most disappointing or least changed design of the future Paradox Pokemon. But the colors on it, it still makes it look pretty cool. So yeah, overall I would say there still is none hugely bad, disappointing, or overall bad Paradox Pokemon. Oh, and I'll mention it now that I can remember. The video took this long because, yeah, I was hunting the shinies, so there's that. For this spriting process, I used again the layers, and the wings were completely separated from the body itself, so the most of the animation went into that. Now, a different method I did for most of these animations is, making it mostly smoother, then just a little bit wiggle and an idle animation at the end. So I decided to make it mostly smooth all throughout the animation instead of adding a special neat animation at the end. Well, I added blinking and still some special animations for some of them, but not all of them, and that is my reasoning for that. So let me know in the comments if you like a little bit of jankiness but an idle animation for the sprite, or smoothness like this Jugulis sprite you'll see at the end. So all in all, I still think it's pretty cool. Let's check it out so you can get an opinion for yourself. Huh, it sure really is crowded with them, huh? I'm starting to think I kinda like it. And that was the third one, Iron Jugulis. I think I like it because it has kind of Cybertronian accents. If you don't know what that is, then yeah, it's kinda tough to explain. Now, of course, let's just ignore my blabbering, and how about let's just see the next one? Yeah. I don't know why it took so long, but after realizing that the wings that floating around the Iron Moth are solar panels, it kinda clicked for me altogether, and I thought, whoa, wait, that's way cooler than I initially thought, and yeah, now it's my second or third favorite Paradox Pokemon of the future group. Well, of course, excluding the legendary since that would be kind of unfair, For these winged fellas that was Iron Jugulis and Iron Moth, I used layering specifically just so the wing animations could be a lot more smoother and nicer, and Iron Moth also got a nice treatment of getting both the smooth animation, at least in my opinion, and the idle animation, which you'll see. It's the idle animation of the actual animation that plays in Scarlet and Violet when it doesn't do something for a while. And also, this freaking bastard, goddamn you, YouTube, this bastard took me so long. He was the longest hunt out of these Paradox Pokemon. This freaking guy is the reason it took so long. It could have been only 3 days production time for the video, but no, he had to go and be the special one and extended the production time for the video to whole 4 days. Yeah, how cool of you, Iron Moth. You're so special. I mean, yeah, you're cool. Oh, and I nicknamed him ADI. It's supposed to be a full sentence, so anyone can So, go guess it. Okay, it's starting to not get funny, so... So, yeah, this is awesome. If you made it this far, you're probably enjoying the content. So, if you want to stick around for some more, be sure to subscribe. I don't know what to call it, but I kind of think the future Paradox Pokemon for me had this, not honeymoon phase, but the exact opposite of it. And now that that's worn off, I'm starting to like all of them. Or it's because I had to make or just made all of them in Sprite form, and that's kind of like Stockholm Syndrome, so whatever it is, I kinda like all of them. Of course, some less and some more, but yeah, I still like all of them. Now this is a bit of a lukewarm opinion, but I think Iron Shreds is a bit better than Great Tusk. Now, if we are talking about the shinies, then Great Tusk wins with zero effort. But Iron Shreds, I think the concept is way more unique than Great Tusk, mightier version of Donphan, while Iron Shreds takes on the design aspect of Donphan being a wheel, which I think is way more unique, just more than just haha elephant go brr. So yeah, actually elephant goes brr, and I like it way more. For the spriting, yeah, there's not much else that hasn't been said, otherwise than the fact that the thingy floaty, whatever the thing that's the red on it and is like some kind of liquid in it, yeah, that, like the rest of them, was kind of a pain to animate, because I need to move them for each sprite just to get the sense that they're move-sided, which sounds way weirder than I thought, but you get what I mean. And for the still, if anyone's interested about the shinies, I think this was the easiest. The first 30 minutes didn't find anything, but of course the cursed thing of making a sandwich, and the first thing you see is that shiny. Well, that was for this guy. At least I got a new record for getting the most shinies from one possible sandwich, a personal record now, which is 4, so hey, that's cool. Anyways, the sprite. Catching futuristic menaces like it's nothing. Finally, took you long enough. What were you doing? Huh, it took an open world Pokemon game to finally have a chance at getting Donphan at the early game. Weird Pokemon shower thought at an unrelated topic. Now, although it is a alternate paradox form of Donphan, it still looks pretty gosh darn awesome and got some nice ass representation for the games, like goddamn 2 whole new lines and able to get it fast. He eating good this gen. And now we're getting closer to the finish line with Iron Hands. Now a quick mention about some editing stuff, about the actual editing video stuff. You may be noticing some glitches or bugs here or there, and that's because my equipment is pretty old and buggy, so this workload, which is just 2 videos at the same time, is doing work on my devices, which is causing a lot of crashes, so some bugs may slip through just because it's crashing so much. So I really wanted to apologize for that, since it's been a really big nuisance with this editing stuff. Now, to get past my crying about this stupid stuff, the actual editing stuff, spriting, all that for Iron Hands, this had the most layers, since I decided finally I should just make another layer which is a different colored background, so I can differentiate, oh my god, language, differentiate between the background and Iron Hands better. And as for the shiny, I have the most attachment to it, since I used it quite a bit in the raids. It's the only one I have somewhat at least trained or competitively built or anything. I haven't touched the others at all, only for nicknaming and footage gathering that you see in this video. So, all in all, I guess I have the most attachment to this paradox. Now the sprite. And yeah, it has an idle animation too. Ugh, I'm starting to miss Route 1. I guess we got a Paldi and Hariyama after all. Cool. As for Iron Hands, I think it turned out pretty great. I mean, I stared at the animation of rotating his arms in a circle for a good while, so that says much, I think. Now the comparison is cool and all, but I think we all know what's the best thing after this. Iron Valiant, check up, let's go. Well, we finally made it to the last one. I don't know about you, but that was pretty fast, especially for 7 whole Pokemon. Like I said, Miraidon will be for a different video. I don't know how or what sort of video, but I know I will save it for a special occasion. Maybe if there's a third legendary, maybe I'll make it when that appears, but who knows when will that happen or if that will happen. Let's talk about the stuff that's actually happening right now, like the shiny Iron Valiant. You know, for being the strongest out of the bunch, it actually was a really simple hunt. But that's because Iron Valiant is way easier to hunt because of its typing rather than Roaring Moon, so it gets a pass in that category. Also being a cooler shiny that you can tell apart easily is always going to help it out. Now the spriting process, yeah, I think this got quite a bit iffy problems. Well, why? Because it has so many thin details that it got quite messy quite fast. And yeah, I made 2 layers, which without them, this would be way worse. I'm at least thankful that I thought ahead about that and did at least the layer for the skirt. But enough me telling about the sprite itself, because you can just see it yourself, and like I've said multiple times, you can judge it for yourself. And overall, I think the gang of Paradox Pokemon were pretty cool. Would you look at that, I escaped from the cave! So how did you get here, like... And that was the final sprite, which was Iron Valiant. Now don't go anywhere just yet, because we got a slight comparison right here. And you know what actually? I think this is the end of the video. I got you to see that comparison. But yeah, there's really not that much else to show you, because you saw the sprites and saw the comparisons. So to that I say, stay tuned.